As far as I know, pretty much every coaster enthusiast out there has some kind of ranking for the coasters that they've ridden. It could be the top 10, top 25, top 50, or they could even rank every single coaster that they've been on. In doing this, a lot of people will say that one of the coasters they've ridden is perfect. There's absolutely nothing that could be changed about it to make it better. Even I have done this in the past, and it brings up an interesting question. Is there really a perfect coaster? In this video, let's go deeper by answering the questions of is there already a perfect coaster, what would be needed to make a perfect coaster, and will there ever be a perfect coaster? To begin answering the question of is there already a perfect coaster, let's look at what people say might be perfect. With a lot of people coming back from Hollywood Nights recently, more and more people have started saying that the Voyage at Holiday World is the perfect coaster. You also have RMC's Rise that left a ton of people in agreement that Cedar Point's Steel Vengeance or Dollywood's Lightning Rod are perfect rides that will never be beat. Heading north and a little east, you can see El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, a huge woody loaded with strong ejector airtime. Getting way bigger, let's look at some giga coasters. First up is Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, a 305-foot tall steel monster that stays low to the ground the whole ride, giving riders a fast-paced and insanely intense experience. 20 feet higher is Fury 325 at Carowinds, another fast-paced ride jam-packed with speedy turns and a little bit of airtime. Definitely the most insane coaster I've mentioned so far is X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This thing takes insanity to another level. Actually, what I meant to say was Ichinika at Fuji-Q Highland, which is literally just X2 but better in every way. There are plenty of other coasters out there that I'm sure people would be happy to tell you are flawless, but for this video, the list I put together is plenty extensive. So with that list, is anything on it perfect? I can already see some of you frantically nodding your heads. The flat answer here though is no. Out of every amazing coaster I mentioned, not a single one of them is perfect. With that, let's look at why that is and what makes a perfect coaster. Then we can come back and go over each of the rides individually. First of all, it should be obvious right away that there is no perfect coaster if multiple are mentioned. That's because a truly impeccable coaster would have to be loved immeasurably by not only every single coaster enthusiast, but also every member of the general public. This means that if one person thinks Voyage is perfect and another thinks Ichinika is perfect, neither is correct. But also, both are correct. There may not be a single perfect coaster for everyone, but that doesn't mean that there can't be a different perfect coaster for everyone. For the aforementioned people, Voyage could very well be the perfect ride for the person who says that, and Ichinika could be the perfect ride for the person who claims that. However, that leaves both of them as a perfect coaster, and not the perfect coaster. As I said before, the perfect coaster is definitely not there yet. Since it would have to be able to satisfy every single person who rides it, it would have to be both rough and smooth, have ejector and floater airtime but also no ejector or floater airtime. It would have to be blackout levels of intense but also pretty weak, and it would have to feel like it's killing you while also staying pretty tame. Not only that, but those things cannot blend or just be spread apart. They would have to all be happening at the same time, since not every train of people has the same preferences. Honestly though, even if we did ever get technology advanced enough to make such a perfect ride, it still wouldn't quite be perfect. You could build anything, and it will more than likely have haters of it within the first week of being open. That point leads us to the final question. Will there ever be one single perfect coaster? No, I really don't think there will. There's just no way that I see to make a truly flawless coaster that every single person on the planet will love equally as much. But if people claim a coaster they've ridden to be perfect, isn't that fair? Yes and no, because again, individual people may have a coaster that they think cannot be made better in any way. However, there will also be people that disagree with them. This video isn't to say that your opinions are wrong, it's just explaining how a lot of other people have different opinions. With that, let's go back to our list of very good but not perfect coasters and explain why they aren't perfect. The Voyage at Holiday World, an amazing, long, airtime-packed wooden coaster that is far too rough and aggressive for some people, not to mention that in some rows, it's pretty lacking. Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point has the most airtime of any coaster on the planet, leading to a repetitive ending that is found boring by a fair share of people. Lightning Rod at Dollywood, a non-stop ride with great theming that just ends all too soon. El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, so much amazing ejector, but that turnaround is a little too rough for some. Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, a ride that focuses more on positives than airtime and leaves some riders feeling very uncomfortable. Fury 325 at Carowinds has a bunch of fast turns and even some airtime at the end, but the pacing at the end really kills it. Each and I get Fuji Q Highland. Well, actually I think it's pretty easy to see how someone could hate this ride. I have just one more thing to say before I end out this video, and listen up, this is important. This hobby and this community is supposed to be a fun place where we can just enjoy some roller coasters, so please remember that everyone is different and has different opinions. Just because you think different than someone else does not mean that they are wrong or that you are wrong. Roller coasters aren't math. Here there's actually multiple right answers a lot of times. With that said though, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could give me a like to help me beat the algorithm, and if you want to see more videos like this one, subscribe and drop a comment for an idea that you'd like to see as a video. I'll see you next time, goodbye.